Yeah, there really was. I mean, first of all, just from the moment I got the job, it's been incredibly clear how big a moment this is for so many people. How many people love this franchise and how many people love this character. There's a sense of ownership that people have over the character because when you play the game, you're Master Chief and you're a co-creator of the experience as you play, right? So I always knew it was going to be a loaded moment, fraught with a lot of feelings around it, both positive and negative. And that's great. I'm incredibly honored to be in the position that I am, to be the person who gets to carry this on. And I'm very respectful of the fact that Halo is a massive fandom with as many opinions as there are people within the universe. And, we're not going to be able to satisfy everybody. Not everyone's going to be happy. But it does feel particularly important that this was the step that we take in order to tell a long-form television story for multiple seasons, that without getting the helmet off and without having access to the face, you really are not able to take an audience on the long journey that we want to take them on. You have to be able to see how a character feels about things over the course of time and history in order to empathize with them and go along with them on a journey. So it felt incredibly important to do it, but once we actually had the moment was there and doing it, it was a loaded moment on set. Frank O'Connor, who is one of the real guards of the Halo franchise and deep lore creators, he came out especially for the moment. Kiki Wolfkill, who oversees 343 Studios' transmedia department, was there every day, but that day was particularly big and important for her. And everyone could just kind of feel on that day that it was something massive that we were doing, and it was a moment that was going to live in Halo franchise history for years and years to come. This is what you get, and this is our version of the Chief for this series. It doesn't take away from your version of the Chief as a player. Your version of the Chief as a player doesn't take away from Steve Downes' version of the Chief, who is obviously iconic and legendary and created the voice of the character for the past 20-some years. And I'm a huge fan of his work and the work that he did. And none of what we're doing takes away from any of that or makes it less relevant. It only deepens it and adds to the experience of the games. It's a process of discovery, and it's a metaphoric process of discovery as well, because you have what's been established for the Chief so far in the 20 years of lore because of the way that you're establishing the character so that the player can feel like they're him. He's been purposely kept vague and distant, and there hasn't been a lot of character development with the character. The process of the series now is the process of John discovering who he is as a human being, and we as an audience will also discover aspects of the Chief that we didn't know prior and will be fleshed out over the course of the season. It was extensive. I have a trainer, his name's Eddie Rayburn. We've worked together for about 4 or 5 years. We started on Den of Thieves and have stuck together since then. Just a lot of eating and a lot of weightlifting and also staying as athletic and mobile as possible because of the confines of the suit. The suit is particularly difficult to move around and to make it feel authentic and make it feel like it's actually aiding you in your superhuman abilities rather than just weighing you down with plastic. That was all part of the process. Well, I have a history of military-themed movies with 13 Hours and Den of Thieves, so I have an extensive background in preparing for those movies. The difference in this one, obviously, is that we're in a futuristic universe set in the 26th century, and none of the weapons actually exist. So you can't do a realistic weapons training for this show because they're video game weapons. So the process for this one was really just learning how to manipulate the costume and the weapons in relation to one another in a way that felt authentic and felt real. But it was really a process of almost choreography rather than like real-world training. It might be John, but it would be close because he's in the Mjolnir quite a bit throughout the season, and he's also out of it quite a bit. And he's referred to as both the Master Chief, mostly when he's in his Mjolnir, and he's referred to as John somewhat frequently by characters who know him well and have a long history with him, and mostly when he's out.
Yeah, I was struck by just how many times Natasha called him John.
Right. Well, you're seeing a history, or you're seeing a relationship between Halsey and John that isn't explored in the games that much because of the constructs of not taking off the helmet or the suit, so that the player can feel like they're him.